Bonjour, everybody. Today we're going to learn about some French irregular past participles. I'm really sorry there are some windy conditions and a handful of roosters. What can I say? It's Florida. Okay, the French irregular past participles, the great news is there is not an infinite number of them. There's a handful of them and they follow a certain pattern. But first, let's remember, when do we use a past participle? The first place we use it is in the passé composé. And remember, we use the passé composé to talk about the past. Compare the present je marche with the passé composé j'ai marché. They really sound different, don't they? Je marche, j'ai marché. That's because marche is conjugated, present tense. Marcher is a past participle. J'oublie, j'ai oublié. Je parle, j'ai parlé. And you remember that composé means it's made up of more than one thing. So the passé composé consists of an auxiliary verb and a past participle. Compare that with the present tense, where we just have the noun or pronoun and a verb. Okay? So here with the passé composé, we have the noun or pronoun, we have the auxiliary verb, and then we have the past participle. And this video today is about the past participles that are irregular. So, you guys, you have to remember how to conjugate avoir, and you need to know that here's where your past participle goes. You use the noun or pronoun here, you use the conjugation of avoir there, and then your past participle. And then you'll recall that we learned some patterns with ER verbs. We chop off the ER and we add E. We chop off the IR, we add E. We chop off the IR, add E, chop off the IR, add E. And then with RE verbs, we chop off the RE and we add U. And the way they sound is E, I, U. Okay? So the regular past participles have these sounds, either E, I, or U. Now you're going to learn really soon that the irregular past participles also have those sounds. So if it's a past participle, you got three choices for what the end sound is. So let's just do a quick review, and if you need, you can pause. But if you were going to change tu regardes to the passé composé, you'd have tu as regardé. Elle finit, you would have elle a fini. Vous vendez, you would have vous avez vendu. Il étudie, il a étudié. Luc joue to Luc a joué. Elle a grossi to elle a grossi. Simone rend le devoir, Simone a rendu le devoir. Okay, so now here's what we want to talk about in today's video. You have a number of verbs that have irregular past participles. You have the ones that sound like I, you have the ones that sound like U, and you have the ones that sound like E, just exactly like with the regular past participles. So I've put them into a table here, and you should absolutely 119% make sure that you write these down. I'm going to pronounce them for you right now. Dit, écrit, mis, permis, pris, appris, compris, eu, cru, vu, bu, dû, pu, lu, reçu, voulu, été, fait. So you can see that these irregular past participles fit into categories that either sound like I, or E. So you need to memorize those irregular past participles. You need to be able to do them two different ways. This way, where I give you a sentence and say transform the following into the passé composé, or this way, where you're filling in a blank. Now, how's your mind going to work? You're in a French-speaking situation, forget classes, forget teachers, forget tests. You're talking to someone and you want to say, oh yeah, I read that book. Some people's minds are going to work from the, I know how to say it in the present tense, and some people's minds are going to work from the, oh, I know what the infinitive is. So you need to know how to do it both ways. Here's the first way. Je lis le livre. You would need to know how to transform je lis into j'ai lu. Tu es into tu as été. Okay? And then the other way is Some people think of the infinitive first. So, j'ai, ooh, do you see the mistake here? This should be J apostrophe. J'ai lu le livre, tu as été, nous avons dit, ils ont pris. Oops, and that's not where we are. So that should be the end of the video, except I want to tell you something. I want to show you something weird. This is what screws people up. Avoir has a past participle, and that past participle is eu. Être has a past participle, and that past participle is été. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching.